Alright, so for method 1, removing with extreme heat, all you need, again, as I mentioned a second ago, is really 3 things. Some kind of a shop heat gun, not a dryer of course, but most of you know what a heat gun is, but just in case, it's a heavy duty shop heat gun. They run about 25, 30 bucks or so at your hardware shop. A hammer and some kind of a chisel or putty knife. And to do that, here's the base that we're going to be removing. It's mounted onto concrete. We can maybe do a quick zoom, pan in and see it's mounted to the concrete with our high strength adhesive. So we simply remove the stud. Put that off to the side. You take your heat gun and you're just going to heat it for about 5 minutes. So we're going to heat this for about 5 minutes. So it's also, helpful to make sure you get it nice and hot all the way around. Direct heat on top and heat it up on the sides. And of course, when you get tired or whatever, it only takes about 5 minutes or so, but you can always use your trick and put it on the stand for a couple of minutes. So, you're going to get really close when you can take your putty knife and you can start scraping away the epoxy. When the epoxy gets to this state, you're pretty much ready. So, that's what we're going to do. We scrape off a little bit of the edge. Okay, so now we're going to attempt to pop off. So you just take the putty knife, and there you go. Comes right off. And then it does, sometimes, as you see, this circle here is from a prior section that we had popped off before. Sometimes the epoxy comes right off. Sometimes you have a little bit of residue left over on your concrete, which is not necessarily a problem. It can be sanded down, no problem. Or you can just leave it there. Most people don't really care. So you could be further sanded down to this type of finish, or you can just leave it, whichever. But that's how you take it off. Method 1 is just apply extreme heat through a heat gun, use a hammer and some kind of a chisel or putty knife, and for about 5 minutes max. And as you can see, this thing is probably pretty hot. Yeah, I don't want to touch it, but it comes right off with that method. Method number 1, extreme heat.